Hello and welcome to all of our Gold viewers who are here with us today. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and one of the MCs here at Gold. And here at Gold, we're getting ready for our Summer Learning Day or live on August 18th. And with me here is Kelly Durbin. Hi, Kelly. It's good to have you back at Gold.
Hello, Kristen. How are you?
Wonderful to have you here. You have a very special topic for us for the Gold Learning Day. You are part of the day of three presentations. Your session is The Rise of Pump Culture, How Modern Pump Culture is Reshaping Lactation. That's a big topic. I want to talk about that very, very soon. I just want to hear from you a little bit. You just recently moved, right? Tell us a little bit, just give us a brief update and about you and your work here.
Yes, I did recently move. I'm now in Portland, Oregon, in the Portland area here in the Northwest of the United States. I am still doing sort of the same things I've been doing. It's just a lot of teaching and speaking at conferences and diving into the lactation research so I can learn more and help people understand what's out there, what's coming, and some recent trends in lactation.
Recent trends in lactation, and boy, there is quite a lot, right? We're looking at pumping. Oh my goodness, so much has changed. Kelly, I have to tell you, when my first one, 20, who was 22 now, 22 years ago, it was quite a different story, right? You had there were pumps, of course, and there was the hospital grade pump that they had in the hospital. But looking at the shelves now at stores, it's a completely different story, right? I mean, so much has changed. There's so much choice. There's so much. Parents are bombarded with tools and tech and all that and smart pumps. It feels like almost during pregnancy they're already bombarded. And you and I just talked about this offline a little bit about the marketing and all the pumps that are out there. Talk to me a little bit about that.
It's incredible. And as you mentioned, so much has changed over the last few years. And this presentation addresses the factors that have come together over the last 2 decades, perhaps even more, maybe even 30 years, but certainly since our kids were born. My oldest is almost 20 as well. And things have changed dramatically. So we've noticed that there are at least 4 or 5 potential factors that have come together over the last 2 decades to rapidly change what's available in the pump market. And while that seems pretty simple, yeah, there are more pumps available. What we're going to talk about in the presentation that I'll be giving on the Gold Summer Learning Day is the fact that this has not only changed what you can see when you go to the store to buy pumps or what you see online when you're looking, but it has changed the behaviors that we're seeing
Mhm.
that our clients are using, how people engage with pumps, how people are feeding their babies, and how people express milk and how they are feeding
Mhm.
expressed milk. So it's not just limited to the idea that we have more choice in terms of pumps and that pumps are becoming much more high tech, which they are,
Yeah.
but it's also reshaping, actively reshaping the way that we feed our babies, the way that we
Yeah.
express milk, our infant feeding behaviors, our breastfeeding behaviors. These are all rapidly shifting.
Rapidly shifting. You are so correct with that. If I think like all the, some of these pumps, they have apps attached to them, right? And it becomes now a numbers game. Now it's being looked at. What is the output? What are we doing here in ounces? How are we measured? Everything is now so measurable, and I can only imagine, Kelly, what kind of effect that has on breastfeeding and
It's a
pumping in
completely
general.
different mindset from I don't want to refer to my time breastfeeding as the old days because it was just back in 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But the fact is our behaviors and the way that we even think about breastfeeding has changed. And the real factor here is that direct feeding, the way that we did this before heavy pump use came on board, which has legitimately just been in the last 25 years, um, the direct feeding yields invisible data.
Yeah.
That is
Mhm.
just a fact. You have
Right.
to be astute at looking for your indicators through other means. You don't get any output of ounces. You don't understand the numbers, right? There are no numbers when you're feeding direct from the breast, right? We had to look for other indicators to make sure that we understood the relationship between what milk we were producing, how do we recognize that in the infant without knowing any kind of hard data or numbers that are being driven by apps or the pump or any of the milk output we're seeing. Because for people who, and of course there are people who still to choose to feed directly at the breast, the data is invisible. But as long as people have been feeding at the breast, we've had the skills to understand those factors and how to interact with that, how to understand what's going on with the breast, how to know, are we doing enough breastfeeding? Is the baby getting enough milk? The input, the output, all of those things. So we're seeing a big shift because the tracking now, as you mentioned, some of these come with apps. There are certainly infant tracking apps that also track your pumping, which, is a whole different talk, honestly. But these things drive hard data that our clients are using now, which is totally different from just feeding directly at the breast, where the data is somewhat invisible and we need to learn skills for monitoring things without hard data. So
Yeah.
it's a new skill set, frankly. And this is something that we need to be aware of as our clients move into this space more and more.
Right. I mean, there are many reasons why people pump, of course, out of, personal preference or necessity of going back to work and such. But I feel like sometimes when I also look at the commercial, it almost feels like, women are being pushed to pump more and more. First of all, you see the internet, the freezer stashes. Then second, it's almost like you see the flashy commercials about the wearables, and you see these business women dressed in business, like business women there, and in their, in front of their office, in front of their computers with their wearable, and looks very chic and cool, right? Is it just my impression, or do you see that too?
Absolutely, we are seeing this. And of course, it's a two-way street. This is a bidirectional influence. The market is being influenced by the availability of pumps and the fact that they saw this open opportunity to bring more pumps to the market. But it's also that people really do need more than the old like six models of the standby pumps that we used years ago in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Honestly, I'm celebrating the fact that we have more pumps, more technologies. Wearables do provide a great, they really answer a little niche in this market. And for some people, it's a great opportunity. And I'm not suggesting that everybody should use wearables, but for some
Right.
folks, it's just the right thing. So it's wonderful that we have more opportunity. What we need to make sure we're understanding is that we can help our clients make the best choices,
Mm-hmm.
because as you mentioned, there's a lot of information coming from the pump manufacturers themselves, pushing people into thinking, oh, this might be the solution that I need. Whereas when we objectively address people's needs, there may be something completely different that is showing up, that the client doesn't need a wearable when they want one, but it might not be the best solution for them, things like that. So
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what is happening in the market, we as lactation consultants have to be able to understand, and it's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
information out there,
Yes.
and it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
There's so many pumps that it's almost impossible to know or understand the tech or the uses
Mm.
behind every single version of what is going on in the pump market today.
Mm-hmm.
But as much as we can, we've got to be able to help our clients and have excellent discussions on their needs and their pump
Yeah.
goals, their
Yeah.
milk feeding goals, and be able to help them wade through this space without getting bogged down in the stuff that just seems
Mhm.
popular or trendy. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
I love this so much because it is the individualized approach, right? Like,
Yes.
I mean, really, that the IBCLC can sit down with the client, know all the information, help them to make the informed decision. What is right for them? And then maybe they even decide, maybe, uh, I don't even need that much pumping, or maybe there's other options for me available, or this is the right one for me, right? So I feel like this is so important, such important information here. Kelly, before I let you go, what are you hoping the viewers will take away from your presentation?
Well, number one, I hope that people do understand that we can't really turn away from this. We can't
Mm-hmm.
go turn the clock back. We are here. We have arrived in a space where there are dozens and dozens of choices of pumps, and it's important for us to recognize that we've got to help people through this instead
Yeah.
of just saying to ourselves, like, let's go back to the 90s. It's not going to happen. So
Mm-mm.
since we're here, we've got to move forward and we have to
Mm-hmm.
understand how to help our clients do this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Love this so much. Thank you so much, Kelly Durbin, for being here with me today, talking about your presentation about pump culture, how modern pump culture is reshaping lactation, which is, of course, part of the Gold Summer Learning Day. It's been such a pleasure having you here, Kelly.
Thank you so much. I really look forward to it.
And for our viewers, if you'd like to find out more about this presentation here from Kelly and the two other presentations on that day, we invite you to go to goldlearning.com. Yes, it is a live day, but everything is also recorded. So if you are maybe still on vacation or you are at work and you can't be there live, it is recorded so you can watch the entire day at a time that is convenient for you. So hopefully we enticed you now to check out the information at goldlearning.com, and we'll see you there on the Gold Summer Learning Day. Bye bye, everyone.